Hey, God bless you, everybody. I'm not going to be before you long. So, I usually don't do dreams, or don't do dreams, but I usually don't talk about the dreams that I have that are somewhat tied to current events and end time events. But I feel that I should be releasing this one because it gives some direct application for the people of God. So, without further ado, I'm just going to tell you the dream. So, in the dream, I was cleaning and I was in the kitchen and I turned around and I noticed on the countertop there was a crab on the counter. It was a black and white crab. And I was thinking to myself, usually in a dream, or in real life, I'm usually like grossed out, like ill. Like there's a crab on the counter, and I didn't bring it here to cook it or nothing like that. It's housed it like in my house on the counter. But in the dream, it didn't repulse me. I was just like, that's interesting. Um, and then I went into the living room and I looked in the living room. There was this long couch. And there's two people that I know in real life, and their names are Hope and Faith. And I I was looking. Faith was on one end of the couch. Let's say all the way to the right, or all the way to the left, and then Hope was on the other end of the spectrum on the right. And I was saying to myself, I didn't say anything to myself, but I looked out the window and the whole dream was like overcast, kind of gray. And I know that they say, and it's true that a lot of times when you have a dream like that's like in grayscale, kind of dark, usually it's usually like a demonic dream. But I didn't get that feel in the dream. And so it wasn't a demonic dream. It was just that it was overcast in the dream. Like it was daylight, but it was overcast. And so I looked out the window and I saw this great procession of flatbed trucks. And the reason why I have this video or picture playing is because just to give you an idea of how great the procession was. It wasn't fire trucks or anything like that. And it wasn't like people out, but it was just a great procession of trucks, flatbed trucks going down my residential street. And on the trucks was a what looked like to me drill bits, but huge, huge. And I knew in the dream that these were missiles. And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, oh my goodness, how long is this processional? It just kept going and going. And then it was just like the dread of oh, this is, and I thought, so this is for this stuff that's going on over in the Middle East. And I'm like, is this ever going to end? This processional. I'm like, this is just keeps going and going. And you could kind of hear like the hum of it, like of the trucks just going. And the more they came, the more it was just like, kind of like not like a dread of like being terrified, but just like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? Just like an icky feeling. And then I turn around from looking out the window and I go to Faith, which I said is an actual person. I go to Faith and I said, we need to pray. I said, we need to pray that so that this doesn't happen or have to happen this way, or maybe it could be shortened or something. And Faith agreed with me, and I said, be in we don't need to be in fear. We don't have to, fear these things, but maybe this doesn't have to be going on like this. And so then I said, well, I got to go to Hope, who's on the other end of the couch. I said, let me go walk over to her and tell her the same thing. But when I went over to Hope, Hope had fallen asleep. And I was like, I got to wake her up. I got to wake her up. And simultaneously, while I'm trying to wake her up, I thought to myself, I got to wake all of my children. I got to gather all my children together and let them, so that we could all pray together. And so in a dream, I have 3 kids, and I was thinking about gathering them all together so that we could pray. And then that was the end of the dream. So I'm going to interpret this dream right now. And a lot of you guys, listening to this are probably going to be like, this really don't even need no interpretation. I kind of get it. So, but the thing with the crab in the beginning of the dream, remember I said it was a crab on the kitchen, and kitchen represents heart most of the time. It was a crab on the countertop. And the reason why the Lord was showing me this crab on the countertop is because people have hardened their heart and they see in black and white and in one direction. And when I say harden their heart, this is for the people of God. This is for the people of God, because they have hardened their heart and they see things in one direction. So the people of God are thinking that this has to happen because this is what the Bible has foretold. This has to happen because this is what the Bible has foretold. So it's like, oh, the end times, this is what happens. Yes, in the end times, there are going to be wars and rumors of wars, right? But it doesn't mean that we can't have an impact in our prayer, and that we, declare things, and that we ask for the Lord to shorten the period of time for this particular war that we're in right now. That God's influence may be upon the people who are making the decisions, that sort of thing. But the people of God have lost hope, and it's in a tricky kind of way, because they think that they're lining up with the Bible. They think that they're lining up with the Bible, but they have lost hope in a way that they're saying to themselves, what is the point of praying when these things have to happen? And yes, there are things that have to happen, but sometimes we may be reading the Bible amiss. And you really need to know your end time. You really need to know your end time events in order to pray accordingly to the Bible. And so I don't want to get too much into it because there's so much controversy over the end times and what's going to happen. And, well, we ain't going to be here anyway, so what's the point? But God, when has God ever told you, regardless of what you believe, whether, pre-trib, post-trib, mid-trib, whatever, regardless of what you believe, when has God ever told you to stop praying? When has God ever told you to do that? To stop praying, to not affect a world events? And so people have abandoned hope, have fallen asleep, and have said, what's the point of praying when these things got to happen anyway? So, but if you really become a studier of end time events, you will see even the things that are supposed to happen. If you line them up, you can see that, because a lot of people are saying, well, this is supposed to happen. Israel is going to be surrounded by their enemies. And then they're all going to attack Israel all at the same time. And look, this is happening right now. But if you really truly read the Bible, you will realize that the 1,000-year reign needs to happen before the 1,000-year reign needs to happen before the Israel gets surrounded. Israel will be surrounded after the 1,000-year reign, because what's going to happen is Jesus himself comes, set up his kingdom for 1,000 years. Jesus himself comes, sets up his kingdom for 1,000 years. The devil will be bound in chains also for 1,000 years, and he will not trouble the people of God. Okay, Jesus comes, sets up his kingdom. The first resurrection happens, And the people, all the people that got their heads chopped off and all this stuff, they will come and they will reign with God. They will reign with Jesus for 1,000 years, okay? Then, after the 1,000 year reign is up, the devil gets unchained, and then he goes and deceives the nations again. And then that's when they come and attack and surround Israel. All the enemies of God will come and attack Israel. Now, unless I'm missing something, now there are some that say the 1,000 year reign have already happened, but unless I'm missing something, the 1,000 year reign hasn't happened yet. And so you can't think about what's going on over there as, oh, what's the point? This is already foretold. Okay, what's the point? This is already foretold. This has to happen. You can't think like that. You can't lose all hope. Okay, you can't lose all hope. You can't fall asleep on this. And the people of God have fallen asleep on this, and they're thinking in one direction. They're thinking in black and white. I don't know if I told you that the crab was black and white. They're thinking in black and white. They're thinking this has already happened. This is already going to happen. So what's the point of praying? So the first application is that do not fall asleep. Do not lose hope. Do not fear, and continue to have faith. Jesus said, when I return, will there be faith? Will there still be faith? Don't lose faith and don't fall into fear over this. So we need to pray. However the Spirit of God leads you to pray. And at the end of the dream, I said, I have to gather all my children to pray. This is the children of God. This is the Lord saying that the children of God need to come together and pray. Pray. And it doesn't necessarily mean we all got to be in the same room praying. It just means you and your household pray. And the next household needs to be praying. Okay? Don't just let things go. We have a lot of weight in the spiritual realm to affect change. And so this is a call. This is a call to prayer, okay? A call to prayer, and also a call for you to really delve in to end time events, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of deception about how things are supposed to go down. Some things have not happened yet in order for XYZ to happen. And so we just believe whatever we've been told. But you need to read the Bible for yourself. And a lot of things that I was talking about, you can find in the book of Daniel, and you can find in Revelation. I believe it's Revelation 21 that speaks about the 1,000 year reign. Okay. So yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's all that I believe I didn't miss anything. All right. God bless you. I love you. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to run and edit this, because there's a lot of spots where I was just kind of going on. So, all right. Well, I bless you. I love you until we meet again.